Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Youthman. In today's video, we're going to be doing a review of Manfrotto's Pro Light Flexloader camera bag. Now, this is a really large camera bag, as you can see here sitting next to my old school low pro camera bag. Now, this one I've had probably about 10 years. So when Manfrotto reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to review one of their new backpacks that they've got, one of their new camera bags, I was like, absolutely, I'd love to check it out because I've never had a large backpack. And now with the channel growing almost to 100,000 subscribers, I'm doing a lot more traveling now. And so being able to have all of my equipment in one bag really would come in handy. And so today we're going to walk you through all the features. If you're a photographer, videographer, drone flyer, pretty much all of that can fit inside this bag. So I'm excited to share that with you. Now, Manfrotto is not sponsoring this video and will not see it until you guys do. But in full disclosure, this product was sent for me free for review. So let's go ahead and dive into this camera bag. Now, I'm using my Canon R6 with my lens over there. So when I open this up, we won't have it in here, but I'll show you some B-roll to give you an idea of how much equipment can actually fit in this. So the first thing, just looking at this, it's got a really just cool design up here on the front. You've got this kind of cross-hatch pattern with the Manfrotto logo right on the top. And so all throughout this camera bag, we've got lots and lots of pockets. So we'll just go ahead and start here on the side. Right here, you could put something either like a water bottle, or you can actually put a camera tripod. And so I'm actually using mine, so I won't be able to demonstrate that. But basically, you can loosen these up, tighten them up, slide the camera tripod right through here. And what I really like about it is we've got some elastic bands right here. So especially if you're carrying like a water bottle, if you're hiking with this, definitely that's really nice because it'll keep that nice and tight. And of course, once you remove it, it's nice and snug and flat right there. So you've got one on the right side, and we've also got the same type of pouch over here on the left side. So what's really nice about that is you technically could carry two tripods if you wanted to, or you could put maybe a tripod on one side, and possibly if you've got a smaller slider, you possibly could have that fit over here as well. And I'll show you another way that you can actually attach even a slider even up here on the front. And so up here at the top, we've got a pretty large pouch. And so I'll just kind of reach my hand in here and show you how deep it goes. So we'll just move some of these cables out. So it comes down to about right here. So you can see you've got a pretty nice deep pocket. So inside this pouch, you'll find two of these little straps right here. And so I'm going to turn this around so you can kind of see better. So what you would do with these is you can take this, slide it all the way through, just like that. So they take a little bit of work to get them through there, just like that. Then you can take this other side, do the same thing here, feed it through, and then it just locks just like that. So as you can see, you can put one up top, take this other one, attach it the same way down here. And here's where if you had a larger slider, or even, again, if you had a larger tripod that won't fit over on this side, then you can absolutely strap it down right here. So that's pretty slick. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one in there. I'll go ahead and leave that on top for now. So while we're here, if we look on the very bottom right here, I can lift this up. And inside here is a pouch that's actually attached to the backpack. You can see here. So the good thing is you won't be able to really lose this unless this eventually breaks over time. But if you're out, again, kind of hiking, or maybe you're traveling and you're outside in the elements and it starts to rain, you can actually take this, slide it right over the top, and keep your bag nice and dry. Now, it is reversible. So if you're out in really hot temperatures, if you flip it inside out, this is going to be more reflective. And so that's going to try to keep your camera bag a little bit cooler to protect, the internal equipment that you've got carrying with you. Now you'll also see these two little straps right here. So where I could see this might be handy is if you, you could use it for your tripod legs to kind of help support that when you strap it in. Or if you've got like carabiners, you can actually attach carabiners, maybe again, some water, just different things. I could see that definitely if you're hiking and traveling. So that would be super cool right there. So that just slides in there. We've got a little Velcro pouch or a little Velcro strap right there. Keep it nice and tight. So if I lift it back up, we've got a really nice thick handle up here, but we've also got ones on each side as well. So depending on how you like to, sometimes I'll just grab my camera instead of throwing it on my shoulder. So you've got one here. You can grab one from the side, and then there's also a third one on this side as well. And since we're looking at the sides, you can see we have some more of these little straps right here. So right here, there's this little small pocket, and I can reach in here. And so we've got that same type of strap, so it's attached right here. And then we could slide this in there. And again, that allows you to lock in, say for instance, a tripod. So if the legs are really long, you can slide it through there, lock it down. I would recommend maybe putting at least one leg in this pouch right here to keep it from sliding down. But depending on how big your tripod is, you may have to adjust that. So we've got one of those on the left side, and then we've got another one on the right side. Now Manfrotto has done a great job at trying to kind of conceal a lot of the things that may not be used all the time. And one of those things that is a super cool and very, very handy feature and very practical feature is a TSA approved padlock. And so right inside this little pocket here, we can pull out this 3 combination padlock. And so there's instructions when you first open up the camera bag that tells you how to set your 3-digit code. So I've already set mine. And so when you press this button right here, it releases this little cable. And what's great is you can take all of these 4 cables right here. We just feed it through, 1, 2, and you've got 2 down here, 3 and 4. Fold it over, but we can slide that in there. You press the button, push it in there. So now it's locked, and then if you adjust basically spin your code, now when you press the button, of course, it's locked. And so what's really nice about that is this just adds some really nice protection. If you happen to lay your camera bag down and maybe you're in the middle of a photo shoot, you can lock this down, and that gives you some protection from somebody just walking up, opening up your camera bag and maybe grabbing some of your gear. Once again, if we want to open that back up, we just change the code there, press the button, it releases the lock. And then what I always recommend when you're finished, I love having this little pouch. And again, it's attached to the bag directly, so you don't have to worry about losing this lock. So that was a really, really handy feature, probably one of my favorite features of this bag, especially during my last trip when I took this on an airplane. So now if we spin this around and take a look at the back, of course it's a normal backpack. So we've got our shoulder straps right here, so you can tighten it down. We've got a really thick pad right here. So if you look real close, you can see we've actually got kind of like a cutout right here where your spine would be. And what I found with this, it made it really nice because my back wasn't completely pressed up against this backpack. It allowed my back to breathe a little bit. And I found that I didn't sweat near as much as I do with my other smaller backpack. But one thing I really like is this just got a ton of padding. So my original bag is just really, really thin on the shoulders. So when you're carrying it for a long period of time and it's, you know, maybe a long day carrying a heavy backpack, it can definitely wear across the shoulders. But what I found with this one, you know, because these pads are thick and because they come all the way down, you know, pretty low on my rib cage, it just gave really, really nice uniform support. And again, we can tighten this down. And another really nice feature too, depending on your height and the size of your torso, inside here, there are actually 3 adjustments. And so you can go, right now mine are attached at the very bottom, but if you need more, you know, if you're a taller guy, you may want to raise it up to the middle or even the very top. And so that'll just give you some more distance with these straps. Now you also have this bottom strap right around your belly. And kind of interesting, if you're into fanny packs, there's basically a built-in fanny pack right here. So you can open that up. Honestly, that's pretty handy. If you've got maybe an extra battery back there and you just want to reach back, unzip it. I actually did not use this at all during the trip. I know this gives you more support, but I would think, again, this would be more for somebody that's going hiking really, really long distances. I was indoors most of the time, and so I wasn't carrying this for long, long distances. So I typically just had this folded over. And what I found was really nice is it actually provided just really good back support at the lower part of my back. And so I didn't find it uncomfortable. But one thing you may want to do if you're not going to use that is maybe just use like a Velcro strap just to keep those together when not in use. Now, one thing I did use with this is you can see you've got a horizontal strap right here. So you can secure that right across your chest and then tighten that down just like that. And so that keeps that nice and snug. And again, just the closer you can keep this to your body, the less it's going to be bouncing around and the more comfortable it's going to be during those long hauls. So now that we've looked at the features on the outside, let's go ahead and take a look at the inside. So we've already shown you the large pouch up here. So let's go ahead and open up the main compartment. So inside the main compartment, you actually get this nice little pouch. And so you'll see I've already got some items in here. There's a kind of like a monopole for my GoPro that extends. There's a pocket right here at the top just for maybe extra cables. It's a loose pocket, so there's no zipper there, so you won't be able to keep things in there that that might bounce around, but maybe for longer cables. There's also some areas right here that you could, you know, clip on maybe microphones, like your Rode microphones. That would be a good place to do that. So we'll slide that back in there. And then over on the other side, there's another large compartment. And what I like about this is there's dividers inside of here. And so I've got a hard case that has, you know, just some additional media cards in there. So you can see there. So that fits nice and snug in there. You've got a space in the middle here with a divider. And then I use the other side for just extra batteries as well as my battery chargers. So it's nice to be able to keep all of that in one little bag. And so that was nice of Manfrotto to include that with the Flexloader. So you can see down here, this is where I keep my microphone. So I use a Rode Wireless Go version 2. And I bought this hard case on Amazon. I'll link all this stuff down in the description if you're interested in it. But you can see here's my the transmitter, which is actually on my pack or on my clothes right now. And then the middle one I use to hold the receiver. And then here's an extra recorder as well, or microphone there. And then the little top pouch up here, I can put an extra lapel mic. So I like having these hard cases. Even though this is well protected, I just like the additional protection that a hard case provides. And so as with most camera backpacks, you've got the flexibility of using these little Velcros and positioning this wherever you want. And so some of these I've just kind of stuck to the side. If you had, you know, multiple camera lenses, you can adjust it to fit the size of those lenses. You know, for me, I wanted a couple of long areas. So this is my GoPro. Again, another case here. So my GoPro is actually sitting on the table. But you can see all of this fits really, really nicely. Being able to have all of my gear in one camera backpack is absolutely fantastic. But the biggest thing that I needed is I wanted to be able to carry 2 full camera bodies. Now technically, if you had, say, a third camera body, and maybe you didn't have this area over here, you could put another divider and put even a third camera body or fourth if you need that. But to me, I just need a backup camera. And what I really like is this camera backpack is so large and so deep, I can actually place both of the bodies in here with the lenses on, and that just saves me time. So I don't have to swap out lenses or put it together. I can just grab, shoot, record, do whatever I need to do, and when I'm not using it, I can put it right back in the camera bag, and it's well protected. So you see I have my Canon M6 Mark II with the lens attached. That's just a backup camera, and then I've got the Canon R6 with an 18 to 35 millimeter lens that I use and lock in right here. Right down here on the bottom is just some extra chargers, and so that's just an extra spot down there that I use for that. Now if we look at the top, on the inside of this pouch here, so we've got a zipper with a little mesh. So you've got some area here that you could store some items, keep that protected. And then up here, there's a couple of sleeves. So these do not have zippers. So again, those are gonna be things that you just don't want sliding out, or they're not gonna slide out when you're kind of walking around. So definitely, I probably wouldn't put batteries up there. But down here, you absolutely could put pretty much anything because you've got this zipper. And another thing I noticed with this is there is a lot of padding right here. And so it, again, just additional protection for your gear. If you're carrying expensive camera gear, the last thing you want is for that gear to get damaged. And so having really thick sides, really thick supports on the middle, and then also on the back and the front is really going to protect your gear. So another really handy feature is if you have a gimbal, you can open up this little zipper right here. So what that's going to do is allow this backpack to expand even more. So if you can imagine, this is your main area right here where all your camera gear is, but behind this, we're gonna now add even more storage. And so once we open that up, we can unzip this top zipper, and right in here is a pretty hard back shell. And what that allows us to do, now this is a Ronin S, so I will need to take off this base because that's too long, but this does allow you enough space to be able to slide this entire gimbal right in here. Now, it is a pretty tight fit, no doubt, but that's a big gimbal. So if you got a smaller handheld gimbal, this will work just fine. So as you can see there, I have plenty of space to add the gimbal in there, but then also there's another zipper right here on the very back that we can open up, and we can also put a laptop in there. So here's my MacBook Air. We'll slide that right in there as well. And you can see we've got plenty of space for 2 camera bodies, plenty of lenses, a full gimbal, a very large gimbal, and a laptop. So now that we've got all of our camera gear loaded up, we can lock it down, make sure it's secure, slide this on our back, lock this down, and we're ready to go. So overall, my experience with the Manfrotto Pro Light Flexloader has been absolutely fantastic. There's really nothing that I would look at and say, man, that's really a design flaw. The hardest thing is just sliding in the little metal clips into here. Other than that, but I mean, it only takes a few seconds, so that's not a big deal. And more than likely, you're going to install it and pretty much leave it because that's going to be always carrying your gear that you're using. And so, but overall, man, the build quality on this, just the amount of features that you get with it, really checks all the boxes that I have in a backpack for my camera and electronics gear. Now, I'll have links down in the description below for all of my camera gear as well as the Flexloader. So if you're interested, be sure to check that out. Well, as always, you guys be blessed, and we will catch you in the next video.